For those of you who don't already know me, my name is Aaron Stewart, CEO of VANTEC, and we have Lindsay Volker who is helping at the front. We've also got some amazing volunteers today from BCIT, so thank you so much, and obviously Mark from our Trifecta Productions helping with the technology today. All right, so we've got a nice full room. I see people already standing at the back here. We do have seats at the front if you'd like to come and sit down here. It's going to be about an hour or so of pitches, so your feet might get tired. But yeah, I want to start by recognizing that we are gathered here today on the traditional and unceded territories of the Musqueam, Squamish, and Tsleil-Waututh nations. We have some amazing partners. I talked about BCIT already, but we have some really great partners that we wouldn't be able to host these events without, and they're also amazing providers of services for companies that are looking for support. So definitely check those out. We have them on our partners page online as well. Want to highlight Manning Elliott. We're in their office today. This has become a home for us, so it's a really great spot, and as you can see, beautiful views and a good setup, great spread for afterwards during networking. So thank you so much to Manning Elliott and the team here today, and your operations team is amazing. They really have made this super smooth for us, so thank you. I'd like to also recognize Keiretsu, one of our partners. Keiretsu is also sort of an angel network that is really great for that sort of seed to Series A. So sort of a little bit later stage to VANTEC. So if you're an entrepreneur and you're looking to find those later stage investors, this is a great place to go. They're connected in the US as well. And we sort of see VANTEC as a bit of a farm for Keiretsu. So a really good partner of ours. And if you're an investor, they really do a great job of sort of due diligence. You can learn from one another and go through their process for that as well. So about VANTEC, we're a community, and we do run these meetings off of the memberships that we have here. So if you're not already a member, we'd love to chat with you about becoming a member. So some of the advantages of being a member: we have 11 pitches a year, and we host over 100 pre-vetted companies at these events. So usually like to have 10 to 15 companies at each event, so a good number. And as an investor, deal flow is a key to success, and so volume is a really good way to make sure that you are seeing what's out there and able to compare all of the companies you're looking at against a good pool of them. And you get to connect with other angel investors, and you get to co-invest, share due diligence. That honestly is one of the most fun parts of early stage investing for me. I love to get 100 different perspectives on a business. I certainly find that I'm learning a huge amount through that myself, and always will be, I hope. So that's a really great advantage. And then also promoting your own events, your own programs, companies that you're looking at. We prioritize those. If you've got a company that you've invested in that you want to present at VANTEC, we prioritize those as well. And then we have our fantastic summer social. So this was a sold out event this year. I guess it's still this year. And so definitely want to have that early access to that event. We host it on the rooftop of the BDC Stack building, where BDC is there, and they're a partner with us on that. So talk to me about those memberships if you're interested. We also have community announcements that we'd like to highlight here. We also do have a newsletter where we post these, so if you aren't already subscribed, make sure to subscribe to that. But Innovation UBC has a venture showcase on November 26th. And for those who don't already know, Innovation UBC is the new name of E at UBC. So really great group there, and they put on amazing events, and those companies often come to VANTEC. So we've got, actually, we're counting today, we've got 4 UBC companies presenting today, which is fantastic to see. We also have the Discovery Foundation partnership with Spring, the Essentials in Startup Investments. They're accepting applications, so if you're an entrepreneur, this is a great program. I believe Olivia is here as well from Spring, yes, and Shantanu at the back there as well, fantastic. So definitely chat with them if you're an entrepreneur, you want to learn more. They have those applications open until December 15th. We have a couple of announcements that I'd actually like to invite people up to make here. So, and I should preface this by saying that at VANTEC, as much as it's looking at early stage businesses as investment opportunities, it's also just looking at great opportunities to invest in general. So there are different funds. We've got What If, we've got eFund, we've got a number of different funds that invest, or are members, I should say, of VANTEC. And so consider investing in those funds as well. And if those funds are here and would like to say a few words, talk to me. We can put you on the agenda for the event as well, just like we have with Carrie from Kite. So without further ado, I'd like to introduce Carrie to tell us a little bit more about Kite.
Awesome. Hi. So we are a Kite company creator. We create new companies, clean tech companies in the industry space. And so the reason for this, the uncomfortable truth, is that in order to build the clean infrastructure that we need for this energy efficient future, we're going to need a lot of new materials. You might think that we can recycle our way to that future. You can't. We only have half of those materials in circulation if we were to take the last 2,000 years and put it together. And so that means that we actually have to work on creating more operational efficiency as quickly as possible in these industries that actually consume the most energy and produce the most emissions in the world. And so that means that this this energy transition is actually an industry transition. And we can see this in the numbers. So if we just go to the market sizes, and for now, we're just going to isolate our particular beachhead, which is mining and metals. And if we just take a little sliver of that, which is the green steel market, right now that market's 200 billion per year. But when you go to 2032, we're looking at 600 billion, over 600 billion. So that's a CAGR of over 123%. So this is a pressure that makes a lot of sense when you think about it. The energy prices are going up. The bottom line of these companies are going down. So they need to do everything they can to make their operations more efficient. This is our team. You know us. You've seen us around for decades. We've built lots of companies here. We are all builders. And so we have experience all the way from back of the napkin ideation all the way to exit. We have a couple of billion-dollar companies behind us. We have over 160 years of commercialization experience. And then we also have over 5 billion that's been created by us in our companies. And we partner with hundreds of years of experience across the world in the mining and metals industry, the world's experts in various spaces there. Together, we're able to create something really exciting. And so when you look and you think about innovation the way it's traditionally done, particularly this type of innovation, you start in academia, you create a technology, you try and find the market for that technology. Francis does an incredible job with this, by the way. And then you have to get through this innovation gap where there's no funding until it's investable and we can drive it forward. And the problem is Canada is one of the worst in the OECD for making that happen. Kite was built in the middle of that innovation gap. So we actually go to industry and we pull that innovation back, or we pull the needs of the industry back. And then we go and find the technologies that we can use to drive innovation forward. So we create new companies based on that intersection. And venture studios like us, on average, perform exceedingly well. So if we were to compare it to traditional ventures, there's a 55% success rate on venture studio built ventures versus 10%. We can get them to Series A in double the time. And then, of course, because we have high value, we're de-risking those ventures early on. We're able to get a higher multiple, and then because of the speed, a higher IRR as well. And so we can see this case in point. You're going to see one of our ventures come through here very soon, imminently. And that venture we actually founded last year in November. 13 months later, we're going to have brought it to a seed stage investment stage. So that's a third of the time that it on average takes the company to get to market. And in this problem that we're trying to solve, that time is actually incredibly important. So Kite itself is its own startup. So we've done a lot of things in the last 3 years. We've had an incredible amount of capital interest from the industry itself to drive these companies forward. They fund the early stage technical development for us. And then we've had a couple of companies spin off. We've had a lot of projects that are underway and actually some more companies that we're ready to spin off. And right now we're actually entering into our growth stage. And so we're here because we're raising directly into Kite to drive that growth forward. With that, we're going to actually kick off more companies and then look at the adjacent industries we can move into. As an investor, what you can get out of this is not only the co-investment rights into the companies that we build, so you get the pro rata opportunity to invest along with us in those companies when they do their first external raise, but you also get the portfolio returns overall of all companies that we build. And so we see that as the target multiple for us is 9.8, and then the target IRR is 39%. And so today, actually, as of today, we opened our round. It's a 2.5 million round on a 20 million free money valuation. We've already got 500,000 committed, so that's kind of exciting. And I would just say personally that inviting you into this as our home community is one of the most exciting things, probably the most exciting time this month. we plan to close at the end of this month, and I hope you'll join us. Thanks so much.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Carrie. All right, next up, I'd like to introduce Judy-Anna Yu to tell us a little bit more about 168 Ventures. Now, Judy-Anna and 168 Ventures is one of our newest VANTEC members, so excited to have you. You'll hear more about their focus, and so entrepreneurs, listen out to see if you're a match there. But Judy-Anna, thank you for coming out, and really excited for you to tell us a little bit more about your fund and your capital raise.
Hi everyone, I'm Judy-Anna Yu, Managing Partner for 168. We are a Calgary-based medtech fund investing in Canadian life-saving technologies. Although I am based in Calgary now, I did spend 8 wonderful years in Vancouver. I spent the majority of that time working with Manny Elliott, who's from here. So whenever I do travel back to Vancouver, it is like home for me as well, and home here. So a bit about this fund. We invest in medtech. So the key sectors are medtech and digital health. The secret sauce of our fund is really the team. We have a lot of deep science experience. We also have a very global experience. Myself and my partners, we have worked in most of the major markets for life sciences. This includes Canada, US, UK. Spent a lot of time in Asia as well, being China, Korea, Singapore. Right now, Canada is really under venture. There is really one fund compared to 500 companies, especially in life sciences. So we do want to use our experience, our expertise, to help Canadian companies, help them operationally, help them kind of grow and add value, as well as to go global as well. As operators for many years, myself and I can go through the team's experience. Like as operators for many years, I've been CFO for biotech companies close to 12 years now. We do have connections to a lot of the large partners, large pharma, large acquisition partners. So we do help companies kind of connect to the end market. Like how do they exit? Is there a market for their product at the end of the day? So our team have worked for firms such as Merck, AstraZeneca, Goldman Sachs, KPMG, and again, very global experience. So when my operating partner, Dr. Charles Stacey, he's based in Singapore. He started off as a trauma surgeon in the UK. From there, he went on and founded a few medtech companies. I exited out of that, and he worked for a European life sciences venture capital fund called Inventages, which is Nestle's health investment arm. And then from there, he's worked for one of their largest portfolio company as CEO. And I worked with Charles many years at that company called Suracid. And we developed a late stage drug for Alzheimer's and for migraines for neurodegenerative diseases. Ankong Lee, who's our operating advisor, he started off as an M&A lawyer in New York for many years, working for 2 of the largest US firms, Davis Polk and Rhodes and Gray. Then he went back to the science route, was with Merck as our BD director for Asia Pacific. Ankong and I met when he was with Goldman Sachs in Hong Kong. He was leading investment banking for healthcare. And he's also had a lot of experience as the CFO for NASDAQ-listed biotech companies. And lastly, she has a lot of years, 10 years of experience in consulting as well as in large pharma. So she's with Boston Consulting Group. She's with Ernst & Young. She's also was a pricing and commercialization partners for AstraZeneca. So really strong team. We're really hoping to bring these talents and experience to Canada and help companies here. This is just a quick slide to show that there are really good companies and innovations in Canada, and we're usually half the value of the US. So what that means is it's great for us as investors because we can find really high quality deals here for half the valuation. And not only for Canadian investors, but we're also using this to attract international investors to support and kind of support innovations here. Quickly on the value add, what we add is we're founder friendly. So myself, I did skip myself, sorry. So 20 years of experience as a finance executive. 12 years of experience mostly as CFO for biotech and life sciences companies. I'm also an entrepreneur for 3 different companies. Lived in 8 different cities across Canada and in Asia. And then the value add is we're family friendly. We are entrepreneurs as well. We know how hard it is to create a company and to grow it. Our operational excellence as well. We've been CEO and CFO of life sciences companies. We know the difficulties of regulatory approvals, IP strategy, clinical trials, exit plans as well. And we have a very global reach, so we can help companies kind of go global and do partnership deals, licensing deals, acquisitions as well. And that's it. So if there's an interest to know more about the fund, feel free to reach out to me. If you're a company and you're medtech in the seed stage, feel free to reach out and connect with me as well. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Judy-Anna. I'd just like to say I'm really pleased that we are broadening our reach. We've got funds in Calgary now looking at the deal flow coming through VANTEC, and and BC in general. The last community announcement I'd like to make is just a plug for What If Capital. I'm not sure if you are familiar with What If, probably are, but it's the fund that I help run with Mike Volker. And we are doing a capital raise right now and hoping to fill it out by the end of the year. We still have allotment for the 30% EBC tax credit, and I won't get into too much about the structure. It is a unique evergreen structure, which I'd love to tell you more about. It certainly has its benefits. And we are planning to do some virtual lunch and learn or learning sessions. We're also looking at doing another lunch and learn, likely before the end of November. So if anyone is interested in that, come and speak to myself or Mike, and we can put you on that list, and would love to tell you more. We're also happy to jump on a call or grab a coffee anytime. But yeah, it's we're positioned really well, obviously, with being so connected with VANTEC and seeing all of the deals coming through VC, and so it's definitely a good positioned fund to invest in if you're looking at the deals coming through VANTEC, loving the quality of them, because we're always looking at them for investment opportunities. So we'll get to the main meal of the evening here, the presentations, which you've all been waiting for. Sorry, I forgot to mention the Startup Visa Program is another portion of VANTEC. We're welcoming great companies from around the world to Canada and helping them with that immigration process. Jackson, do you want to say a few words?
Thank you, Aaron. Yeah, so we do have an exciting presentation that is set for tomorrow at 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time over Zoom. If you are a full VANTEC member, you will be receiving an email via the D1 system, and then you just need to register for Zoom. You get to see the latest and greatest foreign entrepreneurs that our members have sourced throughout the world, and hopefully one day we'll be able to bring it to the benefit of all the local angel ecosystem investors, and look forward to showing up. Seeing you guys show up. So that's 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, Zoom tomorrow. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Jackson. All right, so we have the presentations. We love to give feedback. We love to pass along the interest that you have. So there are paper copies of this, but also you can scan the QR code. And if you do express interest, we are going to make that introduction. So do make sure you are aware of that. But any feedback that you provide, if you don't show interest, we're still going to pass that along to the companies. It's really, really helpful for them. Obviously, you can talk to them in the networking as well. But just so that you know that this is one of those channels that we can pass that information along to them. So we have great companies today. We have 6 90-second pitches, and we have 5. All right. Well, I would like to invite Francis Steiner from Disc Alloys to tell us a little bit more about your company. So Francis, I'll let you take it away, and we'll get those slides up.
How's everyone doing today? Good? I got a quick question for everybody. I presume everyone's flown recently on a plane. Yes? Everyone's flown on a plane recently? Yeah? Anyone flown in a rocket? No, I haven't thought so. Bit expensive, a bit hard to do. But imagine yourself flying from London to Vancouver in 1 hour on a rocket, and you see the sun emerge from the Earth as you go into the parabolic arc and you land. Wouldn't that be amazing? I think so. I am Francis Steiner. I'm from Disc Alloys, and this is where the catalyst makes this change happen. Disc Alloys helps build bimetallic rocket engines faster and makes them more efficient than anybody else. Rocket engines are complex, hence the term rocket scientist. One of the big challenges is bringing 2 metals together and making them work. One is copper, which deals with extreme temperatures. The second one is stainless steel, to deal with strength. One, if it doesn't work right, melts, and the other one explodes. So putting these 2 metals together is very difficult, even with additive manufacturing. So what's happened is bimetallic combustion chambers have become a bottleneck until now. Our new cold spray nozzle allows us to print very quickly and very precisely. You must ask yourself, why does speed matter? Because SpaceX has made SpaceX has made speed matter. Faster production means faster iteration, which means faster learning. This translates into greater thrust and greater weight loss, which means that if you have a 1% change in the efficiency of a rocket engine, such as the Falcon Heavy, you save 14,000 kilograms of fuel, which translates to the bottom line of $20 to $25 million of extra revenue. On a $100 million flight, that's a huge change, right? This is a game-changing technology. We're looking for $100,000 to close out our $325,000 round on the pre-money of 2.6. We're also looking for people with C-suite experience in the rocket industry. You can reach me, Francis, at bi-sca.com, or my colleague Stefano at the back of the room, who's the genius behind all this. Looking forward to your questions. Thank you.
Thank you. Great, thank you so much, Francis. Next up, I'd like to introduce Matthew from Blossum Innovations to tell us more about Blossum.
Hi, I'm Matt Janega, founder of Blossum Innovations. My co-founder, Justin, is sitting there in the middle row. And this is Alex. Alex is a Gen Z sales rep with 150 clients and roughly 20 to 28 meetings per week that he has to book. Essentially, this networking problem costs him 1 day a week. And so this networking problem costs him 1 day a week, as well as about $10,000 to his employer every year. So essentially what he's looking for is a tool that helps him solve this problem and then also drive results. We're building a game-changing solution for networking. Sorry, I'm getting a bit nervous. Essentially, reps, salespeople, and entrepreneurs, as well as people like yourself, will be able to optimize their networks and drive results through automation of your schedule. It's sort of like a CRM meets scheduling tool. It plugs into CRMs as well. Essentially what we're doing is we've built 4 iOS builds in October. We have grown our following by 240%. We are paywall ready with an MVP market launch planned for this month. We're just waiting on Google approval. We have, with 20 onboarded users, we should be able to, with 20 onboarded users that manage 20 contacts each, we should be able to reach 8,000 potential customers within the third cycle. Our goal is to get to 10,000 paid customers at an $80,000 MRR. Did this just die on me? It's okay. I could like speak up if that helps. Essentially, we believe that we can meet 180,000 customers, paid users, in 3 years, and that will drive an ARR of about $25 million, and it's an $89 billion market opportunity. So essentially what we're doing is trying to bring this value to salespeople and entrepreneurs. We're looking for $1 million pre-seed to, like I said, trying to find 10,000 customers and $80,000 in MRR in our first year, as well as helping salespeople and entrepreneurs optimize their network and drive growth.
Thanks so much, Matthew. Thank you, Matthew. And I'd like to introduce Omid. Omid, are you in the crowd? Here we are. We're going to hear a little bit more about Brand-Mart. So Omid, I'll pass the controls over to you, and we'll let you take it away. Just give it 1 second.
Hi, I'm Omid, founder of Brand-Mart, and my co-founder Majid and Gilda are there. At Brand-Mart, we saw a problem. Many manufacturers operate below capacity, and while brand holders like to have their own branded product. In my experience as a food manufacturer, private labeling enablement can help both sides grow. At Brand-Mart, we connect those retailers with manufacturers who have empty capacity. Brand holders simply design their label, and Brand-Mart connect them with the right manufacturer in just 10 seconds. Brand-Mart already get interest from North American manufacturers and retailers. In 2023, private labeling in food and beverage was $230 billion in the United States. Our goal is make Brand-Mart the platform for private labeling in the food and beverage. With your support, we can help brand holders grow their brand and improve manufacturing efficiency and transform private labeling industry. Thank you.
Cheat sheet here for the next one we have here. So I have Steve Lowry to introduce us to BroadSight. Steve, I'll hand over the controls.
Great, thank you. I'm Steve Lowry, the soon-to-be-announced CEO of BroadSight. And BroadSight is a platform for PR and public affairs teams to manage communications with journalists and other stakeholders. And it's actually a new category of software that we're creating, much like CRM, public relationship management tool is for leaders of teams to manage the team that they have, similar to a sales context, but in the communication realm. So I joined BroadSight because I saw two things, quite compelling about it, which were one, a stable, SaaS business that's spun under the UBC communications team. So I'll kind of bring the SaaS playbook there, but also a ton of optionality, particularly if we're using AI to go to market, which I'll talk about. So to begin with, it is the company's doing 100K ARR right now. It's high margin, low churn, and a good capital cycle because clients pay 1 to 2 years upfront as well. And so we have public sector as our initial kind of beachhead market, but we're really pursuing and looking into private sector, enterprise, as well as PR firms. And then what's I think quite interesting is when we get into the SMB market potentially, what AI can help us do. So I am co-founder of AI UC, and our CTO is a noted AI researcher. So we've already got some AI tools that we're using that are really exciting our clients. And I'm here today just to talk about, or interested to meet people who are investors and the like, who maybe have an interest around the optionality piece and market sizing. We're not raising just yet, looking to figure out what our valuation might be. We need to understand the true size of the market. So I'd really love to engage with you as mentors to understand which of these different circles that we established we would want to pursue. So thank you very much. You can find me on LinkedIn or go to the
Thank you, Steve. That was BroadSight. All right, next up I have Connor to introduce us to MindTRAK Golf.
Hi everyone, my name is Connor Zokel. I'm the co-COO of MindTRAK Golf, a SaaS platform poised to disrupt the way golfers track performance by removing the shackles we call golf insanity. Imagine the insights that sabermetrics brought to baseball, as depicted in the movie Moneyball. MindTRAK will do the same for golf. There's a massive untapped opportunity to empower golfers where it matters most, their mental strength. Nearly every golf improvement tool today overlooks this, fixated on swing mechanics and equipment. Yet golfers who suffer with poor mental thoughts, their scores don't improve. Our product fills this void by equipping golfers of all levels with the ability to harness their mental strength under pressure to transform anxiety into fearless execution. We're bringing a new era to golf performance where the mind is the ultimate edge, and our product will become an essential tool for serious golfers everywhere. Through our product, through our app, our focused system tracks KPIs for every single shot, shifting the golfer's attentional focus, transforming their brain plasticity to detach emotionally from the results. Imagine playing with the freedom without distraction or anxiety, focused purely on the moment. Books are written on this theory, but there's been no systems developed to get the golfer to the present moment. And our system's been used on the PGA Tour. Our freemium-based model is designed for rapid adoption and scalability. We're pushing for a 2025 commercial launch, and we're poised to capture a key segment of golf's $84 billion market. MindTRAK's audience is simply anyone who's passionate about game improvement, and it applies equally to the professional golfer, the scratch golfer, or the 30-plus handicap. We're a pre-revenue company seeking $600,000 to fund the next stage of developing our commercially ready product and to implement our marketing strategy. And of course, we're an EBC-approved company. Thank you very much.
Next up, I'd like to introduce our last 90-second pitch, Liz, to tell us more about BryoSpere. So take it away.
So, hi everybody, I'm Liz. I'm the Chief Science Officer and co-founder of BryoSpere. And at BryoSpere, we are harnessing 500 million years of moss evolution to make high quality bioactive ingredients for skincare. And our ingredients specifically target anti-aging. I don't need to tell anybody, this is a very big market. So like I said, we harness the metabolism of moss. We use biotechnology techniques to make patent-protected, genetically engineered lines of moss. We grow them in these bubbling reactors that are very low cost and simple input, and we sell them to skincare brands to include in their formulation. So this space is really dominated by 7 major conglomerates. Think L'Oreal, Estee Lauder, Unilever. These companies are huge. Our go-to-market strategy is to leverage a relationship with one of these B2B partners. With our hero ingredient, we think we can make close to a 95% profit margin. Our prototype for the hero ingredient is ready. We're currently working on improving our yields. We also have an MVP ingredient that we've created, and we're currently producing 3 to 4 grams of this per week. We've also recently started sending out samples, and I'm really excited to say that we've recently are negotiating an MTA with a multinational skiing pro brand with a more than $2 billion market share. So we are really, really excited about this. Currently, we are looking to close out a 475,000 bridge round. We have 350 secured from a lead investor, and we're happy to talk to any strategic investors who are interested. This is a post-money safe with a $8 million cap. Talk to me if you want to hear more. If you're feeling brave, Maisha and Rick could apply some of our MVP product onto your skin if you're really feeling adventurous tonight.
That was great. Thank you so much, Liz. And I love the coordination, the BryoSpere shirts. You can't miss them. So you'll be able to find those around after during networking. Great job, Liz. All right, next up, first 5-minute presentation. I'd like to introduce Mark to tell us more about Gibli Tech.
Hi, everyone. My name is Mark Ernsting. I'm the founder and CEO of Gibli. We have designed a real-time aerodynamic sensor for cyclists and triathletes. The challenge to date is that cyclists and triathletes have had to go to a wind tunnel in order to know what their coefficient of drag is, which is CDA. The problem with wind tunnels is that they're expensive, they're time-consuming, and they require a degree of knowledge. And then after you leave the wind tunnel, any change that you make, you'd have to actually then go back to the wind tunnel in order to ensure to know and test whatever changes you've made. The solution is our award-winning real-time aerodynamic sensor. The sensor sits on the front of your bike and communicates through an ANT+ and Bluetooth technology with our proprietary app or Garmin device. Our audience can be broken up into 3 categories. The professionals, like in any other sports, they're always looking for competitive advantage in order to be ahead of the competition. The industry, they're really wanting this technology because for the first time they can actually do real-world testing. And our age group athletes, there are approximately 7.5 million participants that are signed up as triathletes or cyclists around the world. The barrier of entry is quite significant. We've had to work with many wind tunnels and industry experts in order to be able to accurately and repeatably get CDA values. To date, I think we've done a really good job of building a solid foundation with our patents and electronics like certification requirements and user testing that we've done over the years. We recently did a pre-sale that sold out in under 3 weeks. And moving forward, we're going to continue to do multiple pre-sales throughout the winter and then doing a larger order for the spring and going into the summer months. Attending trade shows and key events in order to continue to elevate the profile of the product and taking on distributor orders then for 2026. Our future growth modeling is based on the power meter and race wheel market. They sell many more units per year than we are projecting here. We're basing this because as this is a brand new industry or market sector that we're growing, we feel pretty confident that these are numbers that we can target, and we're relying it based on anyone that buys a power meter is the exact same kind of person that would be buying our technology. The ask, I'm looking to invite you to join us in on this round, and also if there are any other individuals in the community that you feel this would be valuable in their investment portfolio, I'd be appreciative of any other introductions that you could make. We're doing an ask of $400,000 as our minimum for a convertible note, standard terms with the 4.5 million valuation cap, 20% discount, 8% interest. This will allow me to help fund my upcoming tooling costs, as well as establish inventory for the 2025 season and attend the critical shows that we need to in order to continue to grow this product and brand. My team that I've built around me all are enthusiasts with cycling and triathlons. The majority of them, except for maybe Bill, actually have taken part in triathlon and cycling events as well. I did meet my executive chair, which is Bill Barrett, through the CDL program. I'm a graduate of that program, and that's where we initially received also our initial seed funding for this product to get it to this stage that we are at today. My personal background is I used to be a professor of exercise science and sports management. I got out of the academic world and started a company called M1 Sports Management. That today is known across Canada as one of the premier sports management production companies for cycling and triathlon events. Some of you may know the Gastown Grand Prix event. It's one of the products that we put on for clients. I've also been a UCI rider agent, which means I can represent athletes at the Tour de France level, and been recognized as Canadian Cycling Magazine by as one of the most influential people in the sport. So with that and my background and myself, I've been on the national team. I was on the national team for 10 years, competing in the road and in the track sector. I've got a very good understanding of what the market is looking for. and how to approach the consumers directly. That's one thing that's really resonated in the CDL program, is that we don't really have to find our audience. We know exactly how to get to the consumer base. I know all the professional teams, all the pros, all the media that we need to reach out to, influencers, in order to establish that. I also really know how the product should work from the consumer's perspective, and that's one of the things that resonates with everyone that's tried it so far, is they say it's very intuitive and easy to use, and that's a big part, is because I know exactly what a cyclist is looking for. So, Aaron and your board, thank you for giving me the opportunity to present here today, and we'll look forward to our discussion.
Thank you so much for that, Mark. So yes, let's stick around with some questions here. I see we've got a question.
Mark, can you get your retail price down a lot?
Yeah, we're not. Yeah, so the trend would be for new technology. Obviously, the early adopters are willing to pay a higher price point in order to have early access to an advantage. With the future, of course, as we get our BOM costs down, that would be something that we would look at for like a version 2. Also for version 2, we look at maybe stripping down some of the technology that they have in there, because I think we really have a range of the product right now, but that's also why it's also as good as it is for reliable experience. Our current price point is $1,200 USD. We're doing a 20% discount sale on the early adopter sales that we're doing for $960, but those have been selling really quickly, as we've seen, and I think it's a price point that we're willing to hold until we know that at least those initial early adopters in the 3,000 to go first. We'll start.
It's in the right direction. Yeah. It's in the right direction.
I mean, power meters. I mean, people are spending $3,000 on a set of race wheels, on $15,000 bike. You know, I think at some point the $499 type price point is probably where things will go, but it's not something that we have to go there right away on. There's enough demand right now for us to liquidate for a year or two of sales at that price point. So right now it's not ideal. The question is, what is the margin? I'm manufacturing everything in Canada. What partly is for the funding is going towards our tooling, and that will allow me to bring my BOM cost to under $200 USD.
Understood. I'd like to ask a question myself. So you say that initially you're going to be going direct to consumer. You've got a lot of contacts and connections within the industry, but how are you getting in front of those customers?
It's a good question. So obviously, in somebody in my position, being able to reach out directly to the community, I do have a bit of an advantage to be able to get that traction going probably quicker. But I did a few things. I'm using media, so I gave the sensor to key media around the world, and now they're using that sensor when they're testing helmets or other product reviews. That allows the consumer to right away understand and see in the background what sensor is being used for that. I've given it directly to key influencers that are professional cyclists, and they're doing YouTube videos and showcasing the value of why they are choosing like a certain helmet or a certain change in position going into key events. And we can market directly to their forums that are specifically talking about time trials or triathlon position changes. And there's tens of thousands of participants in these forums that are very eager and interested in learning more about the product.
Fantastic. Any other questions? Saving it for network. Sorry.
Right now, 100.
Harvey, you have another question?
You mentioned exit strategy.
Exit strategy in our industry would be to a larger cycling partner. So SRAM as an example, Shimano, also possibly a direct bike company, so like a Tracker Specialized brand would be very interested in this in the future. And there's talks already of us providing the sensor on those high-end bikes, because they know that the price point for somebody that's spending, let's say, $12,000 on a bike, if they go to $12,500, is not a make or break of them wanting the bike, and they want to put that sensor already on the bike to distinguish them as a differentiator for the other people in the industry. And the future of it, because I've already had talks with the UCI development programs, like even for Olympics TV production, eventually we'll be putting the sensors on the bikes in order to be able to do that added information for consumers to watch, but also integrating it into the head unit. I think those are sort of 5, 6 years down the road, but in the end, there'll be a PO2 that'll stick out in front of all high-end bikes, and then that information will be correctly there.
Great. Well, thank you so much, Mark.
Thank you.
Great.
Hey everyone, super excited to be here. My name is Alfred Wong. I'm Cortico's first seed investor and chief operations officer for the last 3 years. At Cortico, our mission is to improve patient access to care, and we do that by making doctors more efficient and more effective. To kick off, just a quick few highlights. We scaled up to $1 million ARR in our fiscal 2020. We've developed in the last year new revenue streams, which we hope this fundraising would help us scale up. We've already made significant impact on the healthcare system in Canada. We achieved profitability in fiscal 2024. For those at the back, we received our ISO and SOC 2 certifications this year, which will allow us to enter into new markets, hospitals, and geographies. So what is Cortico? So Cortico is a platform that connects with a medical clinic's patient record system to automate things like patient communication, scheduling, online booking, as well as clinic workflows. Essentially, without Cortico, doctors and staff have to do manual tedious tasks, phone calls, and fax machines to get things done. Cortico is led by co-founders Dr. Greg Baldwin and Clark Van Ooyen. Dr. Baldwin is a specialist pediatrician and former medical director at BC Children's Hospital. Clark Van Ooyen, he's a CTO of 2 spin-off companies and also built a mobile infrastructure for Clarius Mobile Health. We have Dr. Andy Minhas, our physician advisor. He is a physician at the First Nations Health Authority, as well as CEO at Walking.ca, which is a telehealth company here in BC. And as for myself, I'm an impact investor, entrepreneur. I've scaled a couple companies to successful exits and IPOs. Since 2020, we've facilitated over 2.6 million patient appointments here in Canada, primarily in BC and Ontario. And we've done 10 million patient appointment reminders. At our current rate, we're going to do about 1.5 million patient appointments a year. Our revenue model is pretty straightforward. For those at the back, it's quite small, but there's 4 really key components here. The SaaS platform, where we charge a recurring fee for every doctor, between $80 to $200 per doctor per month. We also have consulting that we do with healthcare institutions, hospitals, university health networks, which comprise of doing upfront custom work, as well as onboarding their clinics and doctors onto the SaaS platform. This past year, we developed new revenue streams, such as lead generation for pharmacy companies, as well as private transaction payments, where we get a cut of things like sick notes and whatnot. Over the past 20 months, we've had an average MRR growth of about 6%, and we've also had churn of less than 1%. This is actually pretty good by our standards. In our industry, we're looking at 5% churn on a monthly basis. Most of our churn is primarily from doctors retiring or from clinics being bought out. In 2 graphs here, just very quickly, 3/4 of our revenue is from our SaaS recurring revenue, and 70% of our revenue is coming from BC, where we first got started. A couple key financial metrics for you on this slide here. We've essentially been doubling our revenue year on year. Fiscal 2024 was $1.1 million, and we had a $7,000 net profit. We're targeting about $2 million this fiscal. We've consistently been growing our gross margin to about 68% last year. And in the last 2 months, our financials, just very quickly, we grew our revenue 6% from August to September, and we had a gross margin in September of about 73%, and both months were profitable for us. This is a quite complex slide. I'd love to get into more detail in the roadmap with you in a one-on-one, but at a high level, we're looking for this fundraising to help us with expanding our market capabilities by connecting with patient record systems in the US and other countries. We also want to improve the customer stickiness, as well as build upon the new revenue streams that we've implemented last year. We're targeting to raise $500,000 at a $13.4 million pre-money. That corresponds to 8 times our current ARR. 90% of that round is actually completed already from our Cortico customers. There's 10% of the round remaining. There's about 20 customers who've expressed interest but not yet committed. But at the time being, there's 10% of the rounds. We're looking to close at 50,000. We may increase the round potentially if there's further interest. I'd also like to note that to date, to get us to $1 million in ARR, we've only raised about $1 million in seed funds. So please reach out to me, Alfred, at .wong@cortico.health. Thank you.
Good job, Alfred. So we'll start with some questions here, and I don't see any shooting up, so I'm going to start off. I've heard a lot of companies working in this space, and I didn't hear much about the competitive landscape. Clearly, the customers are loving what you're doing. You're getting great traction, low churn, which is great to see. But tell us a bit more about that competitive advantage and how you're going to continue to gain market share and win in this market.
Thanks, Aaron. Really, when we look at competitor differentiation, we really focus, we don't really think about our competitors, because what we really focus on is the value proposition to our customers. And when we speak with our customers and we try to understand what they do on a day-to-day basis, we understand that optimizing their workflow is key. And so for us to reduce the number of clicks that a doctor needs to do by 2 clicks or 3 clicks, saving them 1 minute or 2 minutes, compounded that over a period of a year, is significant impact on their day-to-day, which also means that more patients can access healthcare in a timely basis. And so our focus has really been on the usability compared to competitors like OceanMD, owned by Well Health. We really focus on that value proposition chain and make sure that we deliver key usability to our customers.
All right, I don't see any other. Oh, yes, Judy. Sorry, go ahead, Serena. Yeah, that would help. Thank you.
Yeah, okay, sure. I think I understand your question. So essentially, what we do as a company is that we tack onto patient record systems. So every clinic, every doctor uses a patient record system to store their patient data. Our value proposition to doctors and clinics is to say, hey, don't change your system. Just add on something like Cortico to help automate your entire day-to-day. And so as we build upon that ability to do things like online booking, allowing patients to access their appointments, to reschedule their appointments, to do patient intake forms, for example, we start to reduce the number of phone calls that a clinic needs to make on a day-to-day basis. And so as I was mentioning, when we look at a doctor's day-to-day workflow, we look at the biggest bottleneck and we automate that. We have things like automating the ability to pull pharmacy data for a medical clinic, really to make sure that a 10-minute patient consultation can be reduced to 8 minutes. And so a doctor now getting 20% of the time back from every patient visit, compounded over a year, becomes a significant driver. And so while online booking, telehealth, these are terms that everyone has heard of, and there's probably tons of competitors in US, UK, whatever, we really focus on how effective can we do to make it really easy for a user to use it. And so for us to connect on and be available within the patient record system, instead of being an outside system that someone has to log on into, makes us a really competitive product. And so working with university health networks, hospitals, government institutions, really trying to make that ecosystem work efficiently. Hope that answers the question.
Julianne?
Yeah, so you're really sufficient right now, you're growing right now, so probably the focus is to, grow and get into other provinces. So can you talk more about your expansion, like who's leading that from your team? How long does it take to kind of expand to each province, and how do you just focus on Canada?
So traditionally, we've been growing from referrals and word of mouth. We also partner with the large patient record companies like Well Health and QHR Technologies, and they are actually a great source of business for us. For our expansion plans, it comprises of a couple of things. When we connect with patient record systems, it allows us to access markets into those areas. So for example, we've completed our profile integration, which gets us into UPCCs here in Canada, as well as Australia and New Zealand. We started our Epic integration this week, which gets us into hospitals in Canada, as well as hospitals in the States. And so we want to be able to leverage our relationships with each of these stakeholders to be able to get us into pilot sites into those areas and then build upon that. The second area, which is something that's been really interesting for us, is patient SEO. So at the moment, we have about over 450,000 patients every month accessing Cortico Network for healthcare services. We don't charge patients, but we have the patients, we have the source of traffic from patients. And the idea is that when we are able to provide patients, the general population, with real-time access to healthcare, it allows us to create leverage for clinics that we want to target into. For example, we want to get into a specific county. Well, we can leverage the patient traffic to a medical clinic and say, hey, we have 10,000 patients in this area looking for an appointment. Would you want to work with us? And so this sort of mindset allows us to enter into markets with relatively low cost. And we've been able to build upon that in Canada, in the markets that we serve. And we want to be able to use this fundraising to, again, replicate those tests into those markets. And then wherever we get a pop-up of interest, then we can focus on that geographic area. So BD, we have one salesperson and myself. We also have a sales engineer. We operate quite leanly and frugally, which is really a concept that I'm quite proud of, because healthcare companies, since COVID, there have been many, many companies with significant valuations then, not so much now. But really, our focus has been on business sustainability, trying to demonstrate profitability for a number of reasons. We work with hospitals, government institutions, and we need to demonstrate that business sustainability because we want to serve them for 5 years, 10 years, 15, 20 years. And so when we have this proposition to clinics that we can support them and not just be a flash in the pan company, we build a lot of goodwill out of it.
All right, so next up, I'd like to introduce Harvinda to introduce us to SpaceBeacon.
Hello everyone, I'm Harvinder Kaur, founder and CEO of SpaceBeacon. Have you recently booked a trip and found yourself juggling multiple platforms, ChatGPT, Expedia, Google Flights? Well, SpaceBeacon is the solution. Our innovative platform is designed to transform travel experience by seamlessly integrating travel booking and AI-powered travel planning into all in one place. With strategic partnerships and business collaborations, we are accelerating growth and delivering a smarter AI-powered solution to simplify and streamline the travel experience from start to finish. SpaceBeacon bridges the gap between traditional booking options and truly intelligent, personalized travel planning. In pursuit of our vision aligned with leading technology innovation, we are dedicated to reimagining the way people explore the world. We are proud of our partnerships. Our scalable infrastructure is built using one of only 3 globally available GDSs, Amadeus, through which we have access to same inventory as Expedia and decades worth of travel data to build our AI capability. Our commercial agreements grant us access to net fares for bookings across hotels, flights, transportation, and activities. With our private pilot customers, we've grown our revenue to 236K from zero in the last few months with zero marketing spend to date, trust, high customer retention rate, repeat customers, and referrals. Following our public beta launch this month, we are gearing up for a global rollout with the physical presence in the key travel markets, the USA and India. Over the next 12 months, our focus is on doubling revenue, expanding strategic corporate partnerships for accelerated growth. Travelers and businesses face challenges with current travel solutions, fragmented options, force users to navigate multiple platforms, making it time-consuming, difficulty finding choices, no predictive insights for decision-making. Businesses need advanced tools to optimize their offerings, high costs for property owners to list on current platforms. Billions in revenue are lost each year due to inefficient trip planning. Leveraging generative AI, machine learning, and deep learning, we are building an advanced, personalized, and data-driven platform to address these gaps. Our all-in-one integrated solution leads to time savings, improved decision-making, and customer satisfaction. Alongside traditional online travel agency platforms like Expedia, SpaceBeacon offers traveler-centric advanced AI travel assistant that allows users to express their travel needs in conversational manner and simplifies travel planning, exploration, and booking all on one seamless platform. Also, our scalable infrastructure bridges the gap for businesses seeking affordable rates and operational efficiency. With over 125 years of industry experience and clear vision to succeed, we have the right team for a big opportunity. Our revenue comes from commissions, consumer fees, B2B subscriptions via IP licensing, and white label solutions. Our target customers include leisure and business travelers worldwide, travel and destination management companies, travel agents, and corporate clients. With rising interest in AI and lack of integrated AI-powered travel solution, SpaceBeacon is uniquely positioned to capture an emerging AI-powered trip planning market. In our pre-seed fundraising round, we are looking for a lead investor to help us raise $1.3 million USD for 18-month runway to achieve 5x revenue growth, corporate introductions, and business collaborations. Capital is strategically allocated to drive sales, product development, business growth, including key conferences and trade shows. I look forward to connecting and discuss this further. Thank you.
Fantastic. Great job, Harvinda. I'm going to steal this away here. Maybe we'll take this out. It's easier for Q&A. All right. Are there any questions in the audience? Right. I get to start. Yes, go ahead, Sri.
What stage is your company at now? What stage?
And just for those at home, what stage is the company at currently?
Yes.
Is this working? No.
Hello.
Oh, not me.
So we are ready to launch our public beta towards the end of this month, which will have hotel bookings and the AI assistant around the hotel and general travel queries. So in the next 6 months, our back office for flights and activities is ready. We're going to be integrating that into the front office. And over the next 12 months, we are looking for a global launch and the physical presence.
Okay, just curious, different block lines and calls. So where did you get all these data to make your algorithm?
Yes.
How can you do this?
So through GDS, Amadeus partner, we have access to over decades worth of travel data and machine learning capabilities and AI. So same data as Expedia. Expedia does not have their own data. The GDSs regulate the entire travel industry from airline data, hotel data, and the activities. So the compliance and the regulations, you have to have access through the GDS if you want to have access to the data. So our partnership with Amadeus, one of only 3 globally available GDSs, gives us access to that data. And we're working with Alberta Machine Institute, co-funded by NRC IRA, for machine learning expansion on our AI operation.
That's great.
I want to book a flight to Google Flights, and listening to so that's you went 2 days earlier, 2 days.
Yeah, maybe just.
I can.
Okay, yeah.
Sure.
Sorry.
Could I use SpaceBeacon to do that? And if I did, would it be A, cheaper and B?
How does it compare to Google Flights and Expedia, and how do you compare?
Absolutely. So certainly when I say juggling multiple platforms, so we have meta search engines. Google Flights is a meta search engine where it transfers the traffic to the booking engine, which is Expedia or Priceline. So first pain point is the prices that the Google Flights is showing, those are cached prices. Those are not real-time availability or pricing. That's coming through GDS, and we have partnered with Amadeus to get that availability. And to your question, if you are planning a multi-destination trip, Google Flights it's going to probably, usually the limitation with the traditional OTA platforms is 7-day view. Through our AI capability, we have access to cheapest rate search, one of the features, right? So we can take your personal query, we can take the destination that you want to plan as part of your trip, and we can personalize and tailor the suggestions, which are bookable right through the platform because we are integrated with the booking engine, tailored to your own preferences. If you prefer the morning flight, evening flight, and we will also, so the key area, the USP of our platform and the main differentiator between the existing traditional booking engines and the meta search engines is the recommendation engine and data-powered insights. So out of 5 options, which one to pick, we will provide you additional data insight. For example, for $50 more, you can upgrade to business class. If you travel 2 days earlier or 2 days, 2 days after, you can save $300. Is it the right time to book? Are you getting a good deal? So additional information through the data-powered insights to make informed decision making.
I'm sure I can use SpaceBeacon now.
In 2 weeks from now. Yes.
Yes,
Thank you.
All right, we've got a question here. Let's get the microphone just so that those can hear at home.
I was wondering that with the power that we're going to have, there's a lot of things that I notice that if you want to book from, for example, from Vancouver versus booking from anywhere else in the world, there's a lot of difference in the pricing. So is there anything that's SpaceBeacon that actually catch that and provide, well, if you go to the website from this location, you can get a better price. So to get over that layer, I'm not sure there's anything that.
That's on the roadmap. However, our commercial agreements with the airlines, we're getting the net fares. So same as the travel agents or travel sailors, we are getting those. So we can definitely, from that, we can provide those insights. And also, one of the questions, one of the key items that you mentioned, that if I'm going to certain places, it's gonna tell me like the best options, right? So in addition to the predictive analysis on the price or the best time to book, it's gonna also give you the additional information that these are the best options that you can pick. So you can do that everything right on the platform itself.
We've got a question at the back of the room. Well,
Yes.
just for everyone so they can hear.
I think it's a great idea. I think the question I have as a user is that there are multiple similar products and services already available. You read a few of them. So from a product and a service you want to get, you make a great comparison to a traditional travel agency or a traditional travel booking service. But what about your competitive advantage or any such comparison with a travel AI company? Because there are quite a few, some of them are Uber-based, some of them are ethical, etc. So do you have any such thing to compare with those travel AI specific services which sort of stand you apart from it?
Yes, so booking engine and the integrated solution, definitely one of the key things that sets us apart, because I think over 100 interviews we did from top executives to the power users and the daily AI trip planning solution users. The main use case that they're using is they build their itinerary in ChatGPT, and then they spend the equal amount of time in manual searches on the traditional booking engines. So that's the gap we're bridging with this. The closest competition we have from MindTRAK from USA, but usually most of our competitors, and I would say it's a collaboration possibility and the opportunity for us, because most of the people, they have started with the open AI route, setting up the scalable infrastructure to serve both B2B and D2C. That sets us apart, and it gives us the first mover advantage as well. So that's I hope I answered your question. Yes.
Great, thank you so much, Ravinda. That was fantastic. Round of applause.
Thank you.
We have our next presenter here. I'll introduce Stefan of Minpraxis Solutions. I'll hand it over to you to take it away here.
Yeah, thank you, Aaron. Yeah, good evening. I'm Stefan Nadolski, CEO of Minpraxis Solutions and founder. And my colleague Mahir Sertin is here as well as application engineer. So this is DrillCore. And this is our main insight when we are designing a mine for an ore body. To develop a mine such as this, over 200,000 drill core samples, so 200,000 meters of drill core samples will be collected to inform mine and mill design, and essentially how much metal content there is in the ground to justify building a mine. What's amazing is that only a small fraction, less than 1% of these physical samples that are available, it's 1% of the 200,000 meters, are used to actually inform mine and mill design. We're actually carrying out these engineering design calculations. So the problem with this is that most mines do not perform as planned. 80% of mines do not perform according to the plans that are outlined in feasibility studies. And then we have problems such as what we see here. So this is a mine, an underground mine in Australia, where a wedge was stronger than expected. They simply did not understand the rock mass properly. And $650 million of metal was contained in that wedge, which failed to actually fall down into the mine plan and was not recovered. So essentially, they didn't understand the rock mass properly, and $650 million worth of metal did not report to the mine and was not processed. However, we can address this, and we see a great opportunity to test all available samples. So that includes that vast majority of samples which are dedicated for metal content, by using a technology that can measure the strength while preparing samples for acid. And so the solution to this is Minpraxis testing, or MPT. So we can test samples rapidly, testing over 200 meters in a day. So we can integrate it with existing assay preparation workflows. It's able to test samples continuously, giving us new information for mine and mill design. And it provides mine design parameters that engineers are already used to working with. So we see three main benefits being provided to the mining industry through this application. One is that we have vastly expanded the amount of ore body knowledge that's available for mine and mill design, so we can avert these mine failures occurring, such as we've shown before. We can reduce drilling costs because we don't need to drill to recover samples for dedicated tests, and we can vastly improve safety. So for a mid-sized project, we're seeing that drilling and test costs can be reduced by $10 million, and we can expand the amount of data available by 100 times. So this is our the technology through patent filings. So we are targeting mining companies and commercial laboratories, which in turn serve mining companies. So especially the junior mining market. So based on discussion with mining companies, we are seeing an average customer value of $400,000 per year. And on the commercial lab side, we are seeing average customer values of $500,000 a year. And the business model is based on machine sales or lease plus per test revenues. In terms of revenue projections, we are seeing that we'll reach profitability in 2027. And by 2028, we'll reach revenues of close to $20 million. And 60% of that total revenue will be represented by recurring revenue stemming from those per test licensing fees. So based on my experience in mining, this is a realistic expectation for the revenue trajectory. Of the significant milestones that we've achieved to date, I'm particularly proud of the strong relationships that we've developed with mining companies, including Agnico Eagle, Teck, and Freeport, with whom we've carried out paid test work and are working towards commercial agreements. Our team covers up on the main areas of mining, metallurgy, and manufacturing. Me personally, I have over 17 years of experience in the mining industry. So we are now starting our first capital raise for equity capital, where we are targeting $1.5 million. And this will allow us to hire a millwright, a lab technician, build 2 MPT units for business development, secure our national phase patent filings, and also secure 10 commitments for MPT orders, generating $3.5 million in revenue in 2 years, and setting us up well for subsequent capital. Yeah, I look forward to any questions, and yeah, thank you for your attention.
Great job, Stefan. All right, my first question, I'm just gonna backtrack here and would love for you to just dig into the deal terms here.
Yeah, sure. So we're based on a pre-money valuation of $4.5 million. We don't have a preferred investment vehicle now, and we're looking for a lead investor to solidify the terms.
Any questions in the audience? All right, yes, go ahead, Charles.
As I'm sure you're aware, the mining industry is notoriously sluggish at adopting new technology. What are you doing to combat that?
Yeah, good question. Yeah, we're targeting our beachhead market, basically mining companies that are technology adopters, and we've identified these as being cave mining companies because they're ready to take risks in implementing mass mining methods underground. So there's a lot of risk, and it's really important to get the ore body knowledge right. So we're working with these companies that are early technology adopters, and so these include like Newmont, Freeport, especially have massive, in Indonesia, massive underground mines, and they're very familiar with new technologies and using them to improve productivity. So that's been our approach, working with those cave miners. Right. So in terms of generating, as I mentioned, we're the only machine that can crush samples while measuring their strength. In terms of competitors, there's a lot of indirect competitors, such as core scanning technologies, providing more information in a non-destructive way. These are more surface scanning technologies. They're not really measuring the volumetric strength of the rock. Otherwise, there are other methods that either speak to geotechnical or metallurgical engineering, but we're the only technology that can actually measure the strength of rock continuously while actually speaking to geotechnical and metallurgical engineers. So there are a few that speak to metallurgy, like GeoPura, and established drop rate test methods, but we see that we have the pre-differentiation here. So does that answer your question?
Are your customers exploration companies? or mining companies, or both?
Yeah, good question. Yeah, the short answer is both. In terms of exploration, these would be more advanced exploration projects. And where we see value is if we were testing samples that definitely intersect a defined ore body, so this would be in one of the advanced stages, and we would have this offered as a service at the laboratory that the junior exploration companies are already using. So they could submit their samples to commercial lab, they could choose to have engineering data available, and then they could expedite their engineering processes accordingly.
So they drill their core, geologist looks for mineralization, then instructs a batch to split it, and then bag after that and send it for assay. The rest is just left as a report. Most of the 200 meters of drilling is not going to be sampled. So would your technology enable them to have more information on the core that's not sampled?
That's an option as well. I would say at a more advanced exploration stage, like that more when it's getting close to a preliminary economic analysis, that there's more drilling and a pit has been nominated.
That's a mining company, not an exploration.
Right, it depends on what stages of, I bet.
Mining companies still explore, just to see the extent of the mineralization.
Sure, yeah. So from discussion with companies like Agnico Eagle, where they're drilling for in a brownfield situation where they're looking for expansion, we've seen a lot of interest in drilling, getting that strength along the boreholes. They're not, in those cases, we haven't seen them just focusing on the mineralized areas, but they're also assaying these unmineralized areas to get engineering information as well, or to get delineation of the pits.
Okay.
Sorry, but does that answer? Sure, no problem.
Lots of questions is a good thing. All right. Thank you so much. We will we'll save the rest of the questions for networking, but Stefan, great job.
Okay.
And thank you.
Okay, take care.
Our last presenter for the evening is Sohail to introduce us to Hydron Energy. We heard a 90-second pitch last time, so we've got a 5-minute pitch this time to dig in a little bit deeper. So Sohail, I'll let you take it away here.
My name is Sohail Kiavi. I'm founder, president, and CEO of Hydron Energy. I was also founder of VANTEC, a carbon capture company, which is in Burnaby, Vancouver. I started VANTEC back in 2007. I left in 2019. They are now about $1 billion company on the carbon capture. So it's one of the proud babies that I had, basically. And then this is Hydron Energy next one. We started this in 2020 with a focus on pre-combustion carbon capture rather than post-combustion carbon capture. So everybody knows about the challenge that we are facing, the net zero challenge. So it's about 35 gigatons of CO2 that needs to be removed by 2050. And about over 30% of that is hard to abate. So very difficult to deal with it with electrification and batteries, or with wind turbines and solars. For that 32%, the options out there available is biofuels. The biofuels are including biogas or e-methanol. These are all the fuels that are generated using the bio-waste or biomass. And as our population grows, we also make more biomass. So it kind of works very well. But the problem with the biofuels that require upgrading, like anything else, like including fossil fuel, we had oils for probably 2,000 years. People knew about it, but they couldn't use it because it wasn't a clean product. So it took some time to get that and refine it and build the infrastructure to deliver it to the consumers. Same thing with the biofuels. It requires purification, cleaning up, and then deliver it to the consumer. And if you look at the market today, the players that they bring biofuels, they use same old technologies developed for oil and gas industry, including membrane absorption or amine tower wash. And these are solvents, technologies that are developed for oil and gas. They are clunky, they're big, high capital costs, high energy costs, and a lot of carbon emissions. So it kind of defeats the purpose. You're making biofuel, then you're using this massively expensive process with high carbon intensity to clean it up. So obviously there's a need for something better, and that's what we've done. Really what it is looking at nature, learning from nature. I'm standing here talking to you guys, and I'm breathing in air, and my body separates oxygen from nitrogen. In industry, if you want to do oxygen nitrogen separation, you need to do cryogenic distillation oil. Basically compress and cool down the air to temperatures that you would drop liquid oxygen, liquid nitrogen. But we can see our body does that perfectly. Or when we exhale carbon dioxide that comes from our cells, it's been captured in our body using carbonic anhydrous, it brings to your lungs and then goes out. I'm doing this, I'm talking to you, breathing, and I don't need any compressor or vacuum pump in my backpack. I don't need a cryogenic cooling to walk around with it. And that's the nature. And we need to learn from nature. That's what we've done. We learn from nature, we develop this technology, and the market for this is huge. Just by 2030, about $200 billion in RNG, fuels, and also clean hydrogen. So, like any other problem, first time you talk about the solution and it's too good to be true, people say, oh, that's too good to be true. So you needed to show that it's not actually defying any physics law or thermodynamics. Best thing to do that is to build one, and that's what we've done. So we spent about $2 million from 2021 to 2023 to do this first project. It's about 50% lower cost and 50% lower, and also 80% lower carbon. So far, that generated Fortis, a commercial deal with Fortis that we are signing. That's about $1.3 million, and also with the US-based MJG for $3.8 million. That's 1 out of 3. And also other applications, including direct air capture with the Stonefisher, and also with Boeing that we are looking to other gas separation, other technologies. So currently we are looking for about raising another $1 million to close the bridge. So far we raised about $10 million from the beginning. That's half and half, let's say, grant, and the other half is from. And this will give us the runway we need to go to that next round of financing and to do the Series A, which is going to be early next year. But we can talk about these later on, but I think that concludes my presentation. Thank you.
Great job. Yeah. All right, Sahil. So we'll open it up for questions here. I saw a lot of people taking photos of the slides as well. I'd like to remind everyone that we've got DLM. You got all the info on there as well. You can download the presentations there. So I can always give people an intro to that as well. But lots of interesting things to unpack here. What I'd like to start with is looking at the sales forecasts and sort of where you're at and your projections for the growth of this company.
Sure, that's a good question. So the goal, there are 3 applications I mentioned. One is RNG, the other one is the direct air capture that turns into e-methanol, and the third one was for the hydrogen. So let's talk about first the low-hanging fruit, which is renewable natural gas. And that is by 2030, which is in about 5 years, basically, we are going for a target of $120 million sales. And that is just the start of takeoff for this technology. After that, for direct air capture, we're talking about an order of magnitude larger forecast for direct air capture. Hydrogen is still a little bit wild card, so I don't have a lot of answer on those, but again, it's looking better and better as we go farther down in the path of the electrification. We figure out that we need actually things like hydrogen also.
Any questions in the audience?
Can you expand on the Fortis RNG plant that was launched this year? Is your technology part of that?
Yes, this is a, with Fortis, what we are doing is there's a contract agreement that we are signing. We launched a project with help from CICE to fund a third of the project. Then we're selling the equipment to Fortis, almost to the cost, just because it's our first customer. And then the additional $1 million that I'm getting from this bridge financing is to fund the rest of the project. This is going to be a equipment sales. The first one is not going to be any off-take agreement with us. The off-take agreement will be with Fortis and with the wastewater treatment plant in either Prince George or the second site is in Chilliwack.
Great. Yes, Michelle.
I'm about currently 18, close to 20 people. So the senior members of my team, they are, we've been working together, let's say, from many, many years ago. So from before even Samante. So these are people that we were involved building the company. And we've been doing this for over 25 years. This is the third startup. So very experienced, both technical, but also recently we hired a new executive to help with doing the Series A finance.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Sahil.
Thank you.
Any additional questions? Obviously, you can ask during the networking, and I'm sure we're all eager. We got some great food and beverage provided by Manning Elliott, so thanks again to our partners there. And that pretty much concludes everything. I just want to remind everyone, if you have feedback, interest, share it. We have our next event on December 4th, and then the pre-screen or the SUV is on the 25th. And then our next event, the December 4th, will be at BCI Tech Collider. So we're excited to go back to our partners there. And that's it. Thank you all so much. Enjoy the networking.